Hello folks. For this latest witchy little risk, I have a bit of a fun story to share with you. The last several days I was in Florida near Sarasota with my mom. We were visiting my aunt, and toward the end of our trip we knew there was a storm coming back home, a snowstorm. And we got an email from our airline saying we were allowed to change our flight without any penalty in preparation for possible delays and cancellations. And we decided to do that. We were supposed to originally leave very early Sunday morning to come back to Massachusetts, but we pushed it to later Sunday afternoon after the storm was supposed to stop. And so with that push in our flight time, we had the gift of a few extra hours. And I'll preface this by saying, when I first started exploring the world of the witch, I found a podcast called Demystify Magic with two co-hosts, Molly and Madison, that was very transformative for me in finding a home in this space. And I knew that one of the co-owners, Madison, had a store in Florida. I didn't know where exactly it was, but I figured with this gift of a few extra hours, I'd look it up and see if it was possible to go visit. And sure enough, that shop was less than an hour from where my aunt lived. So I asked my mom and aunt if they wanted to go for a little road trip, and we drove up to St. Petersburg, Florida to visit Spellcrafter, Madison's shop. And the risk here wasn't just going, but I had brought a copy of the book I wrote, The Pharmacist Witch's Grimoire. I brought it to show my aunt, and I decided that I would share a little message of gratitude in this book that I had written because I had been emboldened to write it because of women and other witchy folks like Madison and Molly. So I wrote a little message of gratitude to Madison. I brought it with me to the shop, and it was an awesome shop. I highly recommend checking it out if you're in St. Petersburg. And I left a little copy of the book I wrote behind for Madison. And I thought that was the end of it. And then later that day, it was time to get on our flight to come home. And in the waiting area, there was a woman sitting across from me who had a shirt that said, "You are the magic" on it. And this is, a slogan that's very important to me in my company, Witchy and Well. And I went up to her and I said, "I love your shirt." And she said, I kid you not, it's one of Molly and Madison's Demystify Magic shirts. She is also a listener of this particular podcast. So Molly and Madison, not only did you embolden me to adopt this identity of the witch to step into this, you also helped two other witchy folks connect in an airport in Sarasota, Florida. So I think all of this is to say that when you step into your truth, when you're willing to put yourself out there as, your true witchy self or whatever it is that makes you feel true to you, you find your people. And the more that we are able to do that, the more our witchy web grows. And it's a beautiful thing. Thanks, Molly, Madison, and Carolyn.